All right, so we have a special guest with us this morning. So before we even start with the morning thoughts, say morning, mommy.
Morning.
All right, morning. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra special, big up, shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay-at-home moms and pops, my retirees. Shout out to the drivers, the Uber driver, Lyft driver, truck driver, taxi driver, food delivery drivers, round town and long distance truck drivers. Shout out to the crossing guard. Shout out to the AC brother that's keeping the AC them fixed. Jesus Christ, it's hot out here. This summer heat is like, I don't know. I feel like I've never been in summer before. Shout out to law enforcement personnel. Shout out to medical field personnel. Shout out to everybody out there, from the man that sweep the streets and pick up the garbage to the persons in the highest corporate offices. If you're out to get it on a daily basis, you wake up and get out to get your daily bread, I respect you to the fullest. Shout out to you. And the two job people, you deserve the utmost respect. Welcome back to Morning Thoughts, everybody. Medea and my little co. What are you this morning, mommy? You're assisting? Uh-huh. This is my assistant this morning. She's not gonna be here for long. She's gonna go be with mommy, and I'm gonna continue the show with you. Should it just want pass by and say good morning, everybody? See? All right. Say good morning.
Good morning.
And then goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right. Go, mommy. Daddy soon come. I love you.
Love you.
All right. I soon come, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Close the door for daddy. Thank you, mommy. All right, everybody. Morning fam. Please hit the like button as you join the live, says Sean Cassell. May I big up some people. I didn't do this all week this week, but I saw that Lessa Steph said, as soon as we got in the room, Lessa Steph said, happy hump day, everybody. Lessa Steph, it's Thursday. Hump day was Hump day was yesterday, but it happens to me too. You know, when you're working so hard, you know your nose up on the grind and you don't even know what day it is. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is all the same to you, right? I know that feeling. So big up yourself for that. Let me do a roll call real quick and we get into our two topics. So we're going to be starting off with the two topics that we should have done yesterday. If you notice, after the live, I had to go change up the icon of the video, design a whole new icon. Then I had to change the description of the video because that's not what we ended up talking about. Yesterday was just a vibe that went vibing and it lasted for a while. So I couldn't talk about the two story them. Today, we will start out with those two stories. All right. So Michelle Howell, thank you for being the first one in this morning. I appreciate you being here. June O'Brien is in the building. Lessa Steph is in the building. Happy hump day, and it's Thursday. Sharon Ingram, Brick House, morning family is in the building. Audrey writes here. Thank you for being here, Audrey. Audrey says, morning fam and present teacher. BM, big up yourself. Thank you for being here, Mr. Article. Don, Mervyn, Point, Jamaica, Kerr. King Biggs, Asserin, Odetta, Miss Goldie Robinson. Thank you for being in the house. Kaz Robinson is here. Marilyn Grant's in the building this morning, all the way from the UK. Big up to our UK family. Karen Notice is here this morning. Oh, the video I put up this morning, the UK Privy Council, which is the highest court of appeals for Jamaica, but it's located in the UK. They have now granted Vybz Kartel an actual date for his appeal to be heard. So shout out to the people who went around spreading the false information. My favorite vlogger said him whole thing throw out and he's denied. So I'm after go just do him time. There's no appeal. I told you there was an appeal. And I told you need to listen to SouFLoTV because I clarify the thing all the time. Right? So he's finally got an appeal. I don't know. We'll see how that one goes. But go watch that video because it has all the information in it. Karen Notice. Good morning, SouFlo and family and everyone tuning in. Enough blessings. Up, up, up. Oh, I'm wearing my up, up, up shirt this morning. Up, up, up. That means wake up, wise up, and rise up. Bramwell Wrights in the building. BM Sharon Spence. Gunner Life is here. Vicky Victory. Big up yourself, Vicky. Debbie Jervis is in the building this morning. Naturally yours. Dialing in from the UK as well. And again, big up with UK family. Wayne Nathan is in the building. Donna Davis is in the building. Rico Dies in the building this morning. DIY. King Biggs there. King Biggs says show start and same time. when you see mommy, right? Baby girl. Because usually when she come in at the end of the thing. Yes, sir. Michelle Howell, big up yourself. Thank you for being here this morning. Uh Audrey Wright's in the building. Beast Boy, Munchie, Rasta Caribbean is in the building. June O'Brien is in the building this morning. Global warming, we not listening. June O'Brien said, well, June, the Rasta them did tell we from long time, say it gonna get hot down here, you know. And then we're going to see who are the people that was meant to make it through these types of weather. Hmm. Who is always is sweltering and can handle the heat while some are outside naked we just a tan nicely. You do the math. Anyhow, global warming is happening and we're not listening, is what June O'Brien said. You know what I think? I think Mama Earth will always clear herself, will always rejuvenate herself. You see, this is world without end. We have an end. That world that don't have no end. So when Earth is ready, Mama Earth does tear off everything off ourselves. Tornado, earthquake, typhoons, all kind of something. Clean this off and start all over again. Yeah, so we could destroy all we want to, but Earth will be here. Morning, fam. Please hit the like button as you join the live. Sean Cassell, lovely Aneka. Good morning. For those of you who are not, you're looking for somebody else to follow and show some support and all that. Our sister, lovely Aneka, is right here. You can click on her link and go right over to our channel and just hit the subscribe button. It don't cost you a thing. It don't cost you a thing, right? Lesser Steph, about your. All right, Karen Mason, big up yourself. Let's go into this one. SD's big up yourself. Let's get into this one. Lovely Anika says, "May I go to Florida for vacay next week? It better not rain, cause a beach you want go. Next week you will be in the middle of our summer. I promise you. Even if it rain, it's gonna be a nice day at the beach. We jump in at the water all when it rain. As long as there's no thunder and lightning going on, it's still gonna be a nice day at the beach. And Florida is like this too. It's crazy. It will be raining 100 meters that way. By the time you reach up here, so hot sunshine and the ground is dry. I don't know. And another thing, it will rain for an hour and the rest of the day is just hot and nice and everything dry up real fast. So come on down and have you some fun. Just don't come on vacation and leave on probation because a lot of people do that. Them come Florida on vacation and leave on probation. We have some soursop tea with piece of lime squeezing it this morning. Mhm. As I sips my tea, I don't want to go too far without getting into these two topics because I did it an injustice yesterday by not doing them. So we're gonna get right. Boy, how that tastes so. Maybe I should just brush my teeth. Oi, so that tastes. You know when you try to describe how something tastes by describing something you've never tasted before, that kind of tastes like how dogs smell. I don't know if you get that. That tasted like how a dog smells. You ever smell dog yet? Oh, some people have them dog all up in them bed and them something there. Yeah, tastes like how dog smell. Anyhow, Audrey Wright says, I have some soursop tea yesterday. It was so good. No, that one is not good. That one tastes funny. Uh, all right. Two main stories up here today, right? There's one story about the young lady, Nikita Noel, and then there's another story about the missionaries. Yesterday I said this. I said the missionaries, they really loved us as Jamaicans. They loved our culture. It's one thing to say you love a people. Oh, I love Jamaica and I love Jamaicans, but you don't ever do nothing for Jamaica or Jamaicans. You just love it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, there's a different level to it when you actually show love. So when I did my research and found out about the missionaries that got killed in Jamaica, I was at first saying maybe them did molest off some picnic and the kids them go tell somebody and two madhead in the neighborhood decides say this can't happen here and they must pay for it. That was just a theory. But when I did my research, I found out that one of the guys, the other one was his bestie, his friend, and them have them wife and them family and all these things. They had actually been in Jamaica for I think over a decade, that's something like 14, 15 years of coming to Jamaica and have property in Jamaica. They call Jamaica their second home. They actually spend more time in Jamaica than they do overseas where they're from, because they retired their ministry and missionaries, whatever, and they moved to Jamaica to enjoy life there. And while he was there and is enjoying his retirement, him never just stay up over which part the rich people them there and say, I'm not mixing with them. I can go to the nice beaches, all inclusives, and these things. He mingled with the local people. He said to his wife that if we're going to be here, we have to contribute to here in a major way. Like, we can't see people suffering around us, especially children, and we just pretend like we don't see it. That's genuine as hell. Not only did he do that, the man started a missionary program. Then he took all the proceeds from the missionary program and built multiple houses all across Jamaica. Something to the tune of like 40 something houses has been built under his name. And that is his profession. That is his skill set. That's what he does. So yes, he was contributing to the island in a major way. He wasn't out there putting it out on a whole heap of video. Look what we did in Jamaica again. Look what we did. The Jamaicans need to thank us. He wasn't doing that. He was moving silently, right? And a whole heap of people did love them and respect them too. So I have to come say that part there out there and make the people them know that, right? Yes, Michelle Howell. Haven't y'all always heard me say that? We come in like the goose that always kills the golden egg. That's what I noticed for us. The one person that will supply a whole community, support the whole community. You know, you might have a little basic school and a primary school in a certain community where the government reach out to schools, but that school for some reason always getting left behind or less of anything that is given out. That one person that has made something of themselves, that wants to give back, that says, you know what, I'm gonna buy 6 computer and go give it to the school and set up a computer room and pay for their internet program so the children them can have access to computer system and they can learn that way, because today's world is computer, you know. The computer run the world. So if you're not upon computer, your kids are getting left behind. Imagine being in a place where you can't access these things. So people would do them something there. Look out for people in the community, go through the community, find out who is in need of a medical equipment like a wheelchair, and who need a walker, and who need a this, and who need some help paying their medical bills and whatever. And those are the people we choose to kill. I'd never get it. I never get it. Them, they are the people that we choose to always kill. And then after they're gone, nobody else picks up the mantle. It's not like the people them were killed them, so well, we killed them, so we are gonna do it now. That's like boxing food out of the hand of a person that's trying to feed somebody that's really in need of it. You hurt the person that you box the food his hand. You hurt the person who was going to actually get the help, and you yourself not giving any help. It's sad. So we'll start the morning off with their story because we covered the story so much before. This is like an update to the story. Details. All right. Walk with the details. So, rest in peace, Randy. His name was Randy Hensel. Anyways, the St. Mary farmer, who earlier this year pleaded guilty to taking part in the brutal and shocking 2016 murder of 2 United States missionaries in St. Mary, had reportedly confessed to shooting both of the men, claiming that Black lives count. Because you know, they asked him, was this a racism thing? He said, Black lives count. Was this a racism thing? Was it because of racism why you killed the people them? The man said, something just come over him. Him don't know his what. Something just come into me. I couldn't control it, he said. His name was Dwight Henry, or is Dwight Henry. Dwight Henry, who is now 33 years old. 2016, obviously, he wasn't 33. He's 33 now, so he was pretty young. And he still is pretty young. Reportedly, he told the police that something just come over me. I don't know what. Couldn't control it. He told the police during a question and answer session when they asked him, why you kill them? But Henry, who is currently serving a life sentence for the missionaries' murders, today sought to distance himself from that confession and utterance. Here's the thing. Yeah, big, bad, brave, and strong, right? And then people think they can do time in prison, right? And them can do a whole heap of time on these things. But you see, when that reality sets in, when you wake up day after day after day after day after day after day after day, and you realize there's the same walls, the same bars, the same dirty cell, the same people them around you, same guards clocking out, going home, clocking in, coming to work, same everything. It starts to eat at you. So now you want to recant your story. Now you want to say that I know when me did say. I'm put on my glasses, them call them light here and blind me eye them. Anyhow, he insisted that he had only shot and killed one of the men. So now he wants his family member to take some of the charges as well. Misery love company, don't. You remember your granny said misery love company? Yeah, now him want him family member to come take somebody to come help him serve some of this prison time. He said, I shouldn't have do this prison time by myself. Him said, I only kill one of them. While my cousin, Andre Thomas, him shot and him chop up the man in him head multiple times, killing him. So that's how they died. These guys were shot and chopped to death. This, when it happened, it had a lot of us thinking, damn, that's gruesome. Because remember, I mean, say, Jamaica don't really do random killings, right? It's usually something in a something, and if you do your research, you will find out what the something was. Somebody connected to somebody, they can't find you, Quaco can't catch him shot. Something, your uncle killed my father, but your uncle gone to prison, me can't catch him, so me kill off one of them, picnic them too. That kind of stuff. I saw Jamaica run, right? But this right here seemed to be random foolishness. So not saying it never happens, it does. The man said, I'm a cousin, chop him up and shoot him. And me never tell him to do it. He did it on his own. This is what he's now telling the courts, right? The main witness earlier, when asked by the prosecutor why you shot the man in his head, he said, it's just a strange feeling did come over me. That's why I did it. But I am really sorry for doing it. That is why I pleaded guilty. But I never me alone do it. Now, on one end, this is a perfect example of what snitching is. Yeah. But on the other end, I'm glad that he is snitching. And I hope the other person get something too, right? Because we imagine somebody who has the heart and the mindset for just chop up somebody and shoot them for no reason, and then have this person walking around among us. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it with that murder there. That person is probably gonna kill again. And if you have that mindset to randomly do that, more than likely you are probably going to kill again. Somebody else in the community is going to feel your wrath again. So you're somebody that definitely needs to be away from society. I'm glad say he's snitching. Yeah. So Henry previously pleaded guilty to 2 counts of murder under a plea deal and was in January sentenced to life in prison with a stipulation that he serves 28 years in prison before he's being eligible for parole. I don't think no deal should have been made in cases like these. If you do this in the US, you are not coming out of prison. There is no deal to be made. I'm pretty sure in almost every state, you're going to get life in prison without the possibility of parole. You randomly shot and killed and then chop up, then shoot and kill missionaries. Cold, heartless, unprovoked. All those would be factored in. But you know Jamaica already, them give a bail and them give a small prison time, like them a give a cheese tricks to picnic. Randy Hensel, which is one of the guys, he was only 48 as well. So Randy, the white man with the whole heap of gray hair and thing, him wasn't that old. He was 48. And Harold Nichols was 53, his friend. They were both found dead in Wentworth District in St. Mary on April 30th and then on May 1st, respectively, because them find one first and then they found the other one. They found one first and found the other one because while they were being assaulted, one of them broke loose and ran away, and them running. I'll get you into the story. So Hensel's body was found on a Saturday in bushes with one gunshot to the back of his head, and his hands were bound behind him, while Nico's body was found the next day with a gunshot to his chest and 6 chop wounds to his head from a machete, some distance away from where they found his colleague earlier. So when them find the first one, they were like, we don't know, we have to look for the second one. It took them till the next day because he ran that far. He was trying to get away, but them run him down. Both men had left home on separate motorcycles to visit a site where they would be carrying out repairs on a house. They also did that frequently around the island on a voluntary basis. Whole heap of people there in Jamaica we can't afford to fix up them house. Lord, me I wait till the little money come in and then we fix up the gutter them and fix up round that's all and thing. They used to go around and find those people. And them used to say, boy, this side of your house look bad because, you know, the water come down and it dirty up this side. You want to fix the gutter them for you. Yes, but we don't have no money to give you, you know. It's all right. You don't have to give us any money. You know, you say a prayer with us, whatever. We just doing some good deeds, sowing our seeds, whatever. And then, okay, then thank you. And then fix up the people them house. So they do this on a regular basis. That's what my research found, separate from this. So they went this morning, got on their motorcycles, and it's nice to be in Jamaica. When I see the young them a pass me and all this, it just remind me of freedom in a way, you know. Whole heap of them on the road. So it's a common way to travel in Jamaica. So they're like, let's go. Let's go see this site. Let's go see what we are going to do to the house now. They were on their way to one of those. Today, when Henry took the stand in the circuit court where Thomas is being tried on 2 counts of murder, he gave his version of how the murder took place. Now, according to him, on the day of the murder, me and my cousin, we were in the bushes. We was chopping coconut jelly when we hear a motorcycle. Thomas, he testified, pointed an Intratech weapon, a handgun, at one of the men, stopping him randomly. Just run out and stop the man on the motorcycle. Come off of that. And the man complied. Come off of that. And the man complied. There's a gun pointed to him. Henry said then he ordered the men to lay down on the ground, and he cut off piece of one of the shirt that the man was wearing, and used the same piece of shirt off of the man's body, rip it, cut piece off, and use that to tie his hands behind his back. Me have to stop for a second. Come here, I think this is a lot of steps for something that happened randomly, right? How we are gonna tie them up? How we are gonna take with the motorcycle? How we are gonna dispose of them? How we are gonna all that happened in like 1, 2, 3, more like planned. I'm wondering if they were stalking them for a while. Anyways, he says he ordered the men to lay down on the ground, cut off a piece of one of the shirt that one of the men were wearing, used that to tie their hands behind his hand behind him. By this time, he said the other missionary had got off of his bike, seeing what was happening, and was being led by Thomas. So Thomas had moved him and I said, go away, move down so. But the man take off and run. He managed to run away, and he got a pretty good distance, right? Thomas then testified that he then fired a shot at the man, and the man kept running after him fired the shot. The poor man must have said, them definitely are going to kill us now, right? So he kept running. So they started to chase him. They chased the missionary, and he ran, and he ran, and they chased, and they chased. And he fell into a pool of water. And that is how they caught him. He said that when the missionary fell into a pool of water, Thomas then shot him and then chop him in his head more than once. Forensic reports says he was chopped in the head 6 times. So the man died a gruesome death. Him run, him died tired. He was trying to get away. And if you look at both of those men, they're not in no athletic shape. You know, not to say that people who are chunky can't be in good shape, but for run at top speed for a long distance, it's highly unlikely that, you know, you're in a top shape and you can do it and not be winded and tired, running for your life. But you know, when that fight or flight kick in and you're like, oh God, I gotta get away. They're gonna kill me. They asked about the plan to kill them. He said, according to him, they went back to the spot where they left the other man tied up, and he, the next one, shot him in the head, and both he and Thomas went their separate ways right after they did it. Them go back for the other man, you know, after them run down the other one down in the bush, and him run go way down in some deep bush, you know. I don't know if y'all seen the pictures. They shot him, chop him up, leave him in the bushes, come back up, shoot the other one in the head, and left him there as well. And just, yo, you got away, then me got away, yeah, and left. Henry told the court that he never knew the missionaries before the day of the murder. Never see them, never know them before, not know nothing about them. Although he had pleaded guilty to his murder, he said, I did not even know their names, not know nothing about them. When he was asked whether he and Thomas had any discussion on the day of the incident or whether the incident had anything to do or anything, whether the victims had said anything during the incident, he answered and said no. You know, they want to get a full picture. Jury, judge, prosecution, everybody wants to get a full picture of what happened while you were doing this to them. What were they saying? Did they say anything? Did they plead? Did they say, oh God, please don't kill me? Did they say, F you, I don't care what you do? Like, tell me what them said. They said nothing. Nothing. The man then probably took a look at each other and realized that, damn, this is it. They not robbing us. Them not even ask for money. Them never say, give me the bike, them, and take the bike. So this is not a robbery. Man straight up Taiwan away up already. We are go dead. Run for him life and couldn't make it. I don't buy that story. I think they stalk these men. Cause you not just out of cut coconut jelly with gun pan you and see random white people on motorcycle and just run up and stop them, take them off of them bike, tie up one, shoot the other one and chop him up that ran away, come back, shoot the other one, and then just go your separate ways. That was planned. That was planned. However, during cross-examination from Thomas' lead attorney Leroy Equiano, a different version of the murder emerged. So attorney looked like two of them are turned upon each other, you know, to say who did the most damage, so who must get the most time. In this new version now, Henry reportedly told the police that he was the one who stopped the men. And me stop them. Me point the gun at them, and me order one of them to lay down upon the ground, and me tie him up. He said that he then shot the man after a feeling came over him. And when the other missionary heard the shot, he took off running. So I also fired at him. But the one they miss. So I start run him down. Both of us, me and Thomas, chased the man. After he jumped into a pool of water, he shoot him and Thomas chop him. So me do the shooting and Thomas do the chopping. Henry reportedly told the police that he had planned on killing the men when he saw them. He had planned on killing the men when he saw them. So one of them is saying it's random, it wasn't planned. The other one said, I planned on killing them when I saw them. In answers to the police, Henry also reportedly shared that a friend of his had given him the gun and that he threw the machete in a river. Henry, who for the most part was very reluctant to answer the questions on whether he recalled giving the police those answers and in most instances did not answer, he said that he did not recall telling the police anything about Black Lives Count. Now, this is what the police report said in his initial. It said he said Black Lives Count, quote unquote. Now he is saying, me not remember telling the police that about Black Lives Count. He basically is saying they're the ones that added that to it. Or I don't remember telling him that I shot both of them either. He firmly maintained that he only shot one of them and that it was his cousin who shot and chopped up the other one. That don't make no sense. Me not buy that. Somebody had a gun and somebody had a machete, right? I can't see one man running with gun and machete and shoot and then chop. Nah, it was two owner and both of you was trying to get the same task done. One of you, since both of you had your machete, because both of you was chopping jelly, one of you was chopping while the one with the gun was shooting, and you both committed the same murder. According to him, he was not prejudiced. So this wasn't a black and white thing. I love all nations. You don't seem like you have no love at all. But I love all nations. Under further cross examination, he said that he did not remember telling the police that his relatives told him about things that white people do to black people to make you hate them. Because that came up, obviously. Right? Something about my cousin did not tell me how white people treat black people. Probably was giving him some history lessons, slavery and chattel slavery, and the transatlantic slavery and slavery days and all these things. Probably was telling him about the tortures and so on and so forth we endured and under their hands and all this. And it start to build up some bitterness in him to where he feel like anyway, me see one of them people here. Matter of fact, me know one them always ride them bike come which part with chop jelly. So you see next time you see them, I'll make them pay. Henry insisted, though, that he was not angry at the missionaries and he didn't hate them, and that the feeling that he claims came over him had nothing to do with hatred or revenge or cruelty. He just can't explain what the feeling is, and he just could not control it also. Well, Henry will undergo further cross-examination throughout the week. This is a case now that is still going on. This is the update. One of them is already serving a life sentence. You already got it, that he has to do 26 or 28 years, I believe, before he's eligible for parole. The other one is still on the stand now, and he will be sentenced shortly. So this is where we're at with this case. You see what I'm telling us, hit the like button, but hit that bell next to the like button or the subscribe button so you're notified when we update these stories. You see from when we've been following these stories, and you can find the original videos that we did on this on SouFLoTV right here. Two missionaries killed in Jamaica, SouFLoTV. YouTube is going to pull it up for you. And you can follow the backstory from back then, see how we reacted, see what information was put out back then, all the other videos leading up to now. This is from 2016. We are here in 2023 following the same story. So we follow these stories all the way through to the end, all the way through till we get a conviction, somebody is sentenced, all that other stuff. This is where we're at with this, right? Let me say this. You can be rest assured that people who thought of coming and bringing help, that was a deterrent for them. Because if I'm going to Jamaica to bring help, right, and I'm not Jamaican, and people are telling me, say, look, I can show you a story right here. Last two missionaries went there. This is what happened to them. I'm packing up my stuff. I'm going to somewhere else. I'm not risking my life like that, right? These people lived in Jamaica, pretty much. They know about Jamaica murder rate. Them know say it ain't white people that's getting killed in Jamaica a lot. That's why they moved around freely like that. These man never move with no security. The man here move around freely. Stop on the side of the road, eat roast yam and saltfish. What them say again? Coconut, drink coconut water and these things like regular people. They weren't afraid. They weren't intimidated. They weren't obviously weren't prejudiced. Because if they were, they would have been like, them niggas is gonna kill us if we go out there. I'm not going amongst them. They're like animals. Did you see their murder rate? Hey Tom, let's stay over on this side, okay? Where we're safe. And they didn't move like that, friend. They didn't. So it's sad to see that that was what they endured. I believe it was Terry, one of them wife, never looked at her husband because she couldn't. I believe it was Randy. One of them wife. The other story I read, she didn't go look. When asked to go identify her husband's body, she couldn't go. She didn't want to see him like that. She couldn't handle it. And that was the last time she saw him, was the time before he left the house, getting on the bike to go look at the house that him and his brethren was going to do some work on. Michelle Howell says they were nicely tanned and enjoying Jamaica. Yes, and moving around fearless. They were moving around more fearless than most Jamaicans that I know on this platform that haven't been to Jamaica in a while. Boy, so flow, me not lying, I'm afraid. I think me go back to Jamaica no time soon. I get that a lot. And I'm like, why? I just came back. Boy, the murder rate is scary. I mean, I said, man, you can't make that stop you. You know, you can't let because of those kind of people that you enjoy what is there for you to enjoy. You just have to move in a certain way. Well, that's the problem. You have to move in a certain way. It's too much precautions and this. I'm afraid. But look at them. They weren't afraid and they weren't listening to all that to their detriment. To their detriment. The sad part is they didn't do anything. That's the sad part. And we have to be real with the story. That's the sad part. We have to reiterate that. They didn't do anything. You see, if them did come tell me, say, yeah, the boy them did a molest off the liquor, picking them up Pleasant Hill. Go ask the people them up there, them will tell you. Then I would have said, hey, where you want me say, right? Actions have consequences. It happened. Sometimes we ball out for jungle justice. But the people them never do nothing. There's no record of them doing anything but good on the island. And that's how they got treated. So to the rest of the world, I want them to know that it's not us. It's not all of us. And if I guarantee you that if more Jamaican people were around while this was happening, they wouldn't have just stood by and let it happen. Obviously, they got caught on a desolate piece of road. Because Jamaican people wouldn't just sit down, stay around and just make that happen. So, you know? And I want the world to know that too. If other people were around, if other Jamaicans were around, it would have never happened. If them did have some couple brethren where yard man were ride around with them, where them could have called and say, yo, SouFlo, all right, meet us by our house in like 15 minutes. We're getting ready to go look at one of the houses we're going to work on. Them should have like 1 or 2 man around them more time. Because if they did, that would have never happened to them. It didn't even have to be security. Just have local people with you. It would have never happened. But they felt so free. They felt so safe. Can't go by ourselves. I don't know what people are talking about. It's not dangerous here. We've been here for years. We've been riding around this island for years by ourselves. Nothing has ever happened to us. And then, bam. You know, we can beg and say, please don't use this to judge all of us. But guess what? That's exactly what will be done. Exactly what will be done. I can't say rest in peace to these 2 men because no peace, nothing of this for them. Not when you die like that. You ever see somebody get chopped yet? Not when you die like that. These men's soul are begging for justice to be served. And I don't think 20 something years in prison is enough. That's not justice. They'll be off the streets for a couple of years, but that's not justice. You know? Unstoppable Elizabeth Wilson, thank you for being here. Good morning, SouFLo. Keep up the good work. Stay safe and have a blessed day. Vicky Victor says, head bust like coconut. Why? You know, I see people get chopped already. It's not a nice sight. It's not even a nice sound. If you ever hear bone hit metal, it's not a nice sound. They died gruesomely for no reason. I think them brother need a psychological evaluation, and they probably need to be locked in the part of the prison where them keep people that have mental issues, because you don't just get up and just do that to another human. I don't give a damn what race you are. You don't just get up and just do that to another human being. I'm going to shoot you multiple times, and I'm going to chop you in your head with this long, sharp blade until you're dead. Bust up your skull multiple times. There's blood splashing everywhere. This is not a pretty picture. There's nothing normal about this. Dorothy T says something is not adding up. Can't say they are crazy because they planned it. See, that's the discrepancy, because one of them said they planned it and the other one is saying no, it was just random. We never planned it. Debbie Jervis, these are the same missionaries that it was big rumored that were bothering people, children. Yes, Debbie Jervis, these are the same missionaries. And this is why I feel like I owe it to put facts out there, right? They were rumored by people who have them little platform on YouTube and do the same thing right here. And Jamaican people, they go to, our Caribbean people, they go to like multiple different people for the same story, right? And then they hang on to the one that is the most salacious. So that rumor got spread wide, but it was a lie. Live on the air with SouFLo. Good morning.
SouFLo, you doing?
I'm great, family. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good.
Talk
Yeah,
to you.
as you were talking about two topics, I just want to give an opinion on one.
Mm-hmm.
Like the appeal that they sent for the world boss. Right, they said the appeal date for him.
Yeah, that's not, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the missionaries, and then we're gonna talk about the little girl, 9-year-old girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Vibes Cartel been granted a date finally for his appeal to be heard by the Privy Council in the UK. That's a video that we put up this morning on the channel as well. So that's running right now, separate from this.
Okay. That was the one I was watching.
All right. That's not, I'm live right now. That's not live.
All right, no problem, man.
All right.
Cool, brother.
All
Take
right,
care.
brother.
Keep up the good work.
Manners. Yeah. Crystal G says nothing psychologically, no wrong with them. They're just bad mind. No, Crystal G, can't bad mind that. Something else in that. Bad mind might have driven them crazy. But think about this. A normal, well-adjusted, healthy human being does not do that to another human being just like that. You can just go chop up somebody just for no reason. You can't. You can't. Your normal mind will process everything before you even do it. How it go sound, how the person go scream. When them are run, how you have to go run them down. How blood is gonna be everywhere. How you're gonna have to have a stomach that's strong enough to take all that. To seeing the head of a human being dismembered in front of you. You normal people can't do that. Can't. That is why when soldiers go to war, combat, and they do stuff there that they can't speak about when they come home, them go through issues because they were put in that position, and then it was survive and make it back home. And then when they got home and it started to play back out, now we have issues going on, right? Right, because normal people can't just get up and just do that. So something wrong with them. Not an excuse, something wrong with them. They need to be locked up for way longer than they're getting, and them need to be treated, evaluated, and treated. Well, I guess because Karen noticed said the same thing, so nothing wrong with them just wicked. That level of wickedness, that level of wickedness. God go with them, and God sort this out because me can't do it. And me definitely don't want to go with them. Yeah? Message in that one is be careful out there, people. And this is a perfect example of how Jamaica is paradise until 1 second later, paradise turned into hell. Right? We have everything there. We have paradise there, and hell is right at your foot at any given minute. Let's move on to the next story now. The next story runs a bit deeper than this for me, because this is something that I've always spoken about. So yesterday I was on Instagram and I saw that I think it's Javier, one of them personalities there. He was having a discussion and he said, majority of females in Jamaica, actually, he didn't say majority of, he said he has not met one Jamaican female that was not inappropriately touched throughout her growing up at some point. Not one. So I left a comment that said, I've been talking about this for years. And it's not just the females, but the little boys, them too. I did a call-in one time, and it was basically like an unburdening session. Because sometimes people have stuff bottled up in them. They want to talk about it. Something will happen to them, but them can't let it out. And just talking can free them up. And the amount of phone calls we got here on a live, and the amount of stories, and the amount of crying, people were like, yo, we have to do a next part to this because it just kept going and going. And we were not short of the stories coming in after the other. Male and female. This story right here, big lesson. Horror and pain. The last story we got from the Jamaica Gleaner, I like to give credit to where my source is, so there's no plagiarism. We never take the people them story and act like how we gather it. We do our commentary in between lines, so it turns into an original material, but the basic of it we got from them. We're not in the courtroom, so we couldn't get it no other way. This one now. Haunted Court in Hanover. Nordia Edwards. Nordia Edwards could not hold back the tears as she listened on Tuesday to the agony her raped and murdered 9-year-old daughter had to endure at the hands of a man with whom she, Nadia Edwards, was in a romantic relationship with. Them story, let me tell you something, right? I've been saying this for the longest, and I noticed this whole it's like new generation thing. New generation thing is like this. No woman don't want to hear nothing from you. If you're a man and you're speaking, they don't want to hear it. I don't give a damn if you're telling the truth. You're saying it the wrong way in the wrong tone or something. No one hear nothing from you. But I be telling single mothers this, especially. You human, it gets lonely. You're going to want somebody. You have to be very careful who you want or who you allow anywhere close to your children. You have to be very, very careful. Why? Because predators scheme and plot, plan, and then execute. They don't just randomly strike. A man will go through weeks and months, probably even years of courting you You, woman, just so he can get to your daughter. And you see the whole time you're standing there thinking, well, 6 months now, me know a Juba, and things are go good. Boy, I'm seeming like him when I make a good father. 6 months is short time. 2 years now, me I talk to him. He's patient. These predators are patient. You hear what I say? So you'll be deceived. Well, I courted him for 2 years. I never saw any signs. All along, it was in his plan to deceive you. Yeah, me have to love her up. Consciously thinking, yeah, me have to love her up. Yeah, me have to pay her more attention than her picnic them. Yeah, me have to, when me go around the kids, me have to act like say I'm the best baby daddy in the world. I'm the best father that they never had. She's gonna love me even more for that. Yeah, me have to play my role well. And they do it. And in the meantime, he's watching your child grow. She has 7 now. Next time she has 8 now. Next time she has 9 now. All right, I push the agenda a little more now. I want a movie now. You know, baby, I think it's been 2.5 years. You know, I think financially and all other ways, it's best for us to combine this thing and make a family. Move me in so I could put more effort and money into this household and these children and you. She said, God, thank you. You send a savior. Man, take me up with me 3-4 picnic them. I pay with bills. Come love me up. All along, he's watching your child. He's like, yes. She said yes to the movie now. Excitement, you know. She said yes to the movie now. I'm that closer. Soon, we can't touch it. You all along thinking, yes, finally me get a good man. A man will love my children them. A man will go help me with these bills. I take somebody strain off of me. Somebody me can confide in. And somebody who can fulfill my needs. Whether it be physical or any other call. May I walk you through this chain of thought for them people here. Pay attention. So when you pray, yes, Lord, thank you. Send me a good one. Remember, I know it's been years you've been courting him. See me? When him see your daughter, them and you not look, or your little son, and you're not looking excited. All right, so when we move in, all right, we'll start moving in, babe, Friday. Him things pack long time. Him ready to come. Cause now him there right next door to for your picnic now. In the same house. And now the plot begins. Closer, closer, exciting. Yeah. I should have said trigger warning because I understand that a lot of people have been through things like these. Whether it was they pick up somebody who did it to their children or it was done to them throughout their growing up or something. See, Reggae Girl Bento can't take it there. I ain't even going to continue listening to you this morning. I'm hurting. I should have said trigger warning, but you should know from the topic. I usually say trigger warning because this is triggering. To anybody that has been down this road in any way, it's triggering. Added to the mother's anguish was the prosecution's decision to take the death penalty off the table after Omar pleaded guilty. You see, again, they give away small amount of time in prison in Jamaica like cheese tricks for some horrendous acts. According to details of the post-mortem report that were shared inside the Hanover Circuit Court by Senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecution Andrea Martin Swaby, the little girl Nikita Noel, 9 years old, she was strangled to death. Based on DNA test results from the crime scene samples, including a vaginal swab. In some cases, Green was strongly linked to the crime, and in others, his involvement could not be ruled out. A vaginal swab. What is your sperm doing in that 9-year-old girl? As the mom, Edward, wept over her daughter, she was comforted by the child's maternal grandmother, Karen Cameron, who was herself racked with grief. The whole family mash up and them a try comfort each other. But they have to sit this through in the courtroom and hear. See, we out here when we hear these stories, right? We have the option to say, "Oh God, that's so disturbing. I don't even want to hear it no more." I do this in honor of the people that have to actually go through this. Butcher said, "Who can afford to run will run, but what about those who can't? They will have to stay." Yeah. So I normally put myself in the shoe of those who had to stay because them couldn't afford to run. I fit them situation and them have to live it. I always say this also. There's a proverb out there that says, if you die and nobody speak about you, then you're truly dead. But if you die and people speak about you after you die, then you have lived on. And I hate to see a young lady, a little girl, stop saying young lady because she was a little girl. I hate to see a little girl like this go in such a manner and nobody speaks of it again. Oh God, it's too horrendous. Sweep it under the rug. I don't want to hear it. I'm out. What an option you have. Her parents don't have that option. Her family does not have that option. You understand? Sitting down in the court and hearing all of these, I had to cry to see the horror and the pain that my child went through. She did not deserve this. No one deserves this. This is heartless. This is cruel. This is what she said to the Jamaica Observer following the court sitting. Shout out to the Jamaica Observer. Earlier in the day, 42-year-old Green, big nasty tough butt man. 42-year-old Green, clad in a blue, red, and white shirt, his hair unkept, had pleaded guilty to murder and rape. In response to Supreme Court Judge Justice Courtney Day's query about whether he had entered a plea freely and with full understandings, the Lucy resident replied, "Yes. I understand the whole plea deal, Judge. Plead guilty." The Office of the District of Public Prosecution, ODPP, which had on March 28 indicated that the death penalty would not have been sought, then informed the court that it would no longer go that route. As has been explained in previous cases, it is required procedure to announce when the death penalty is being sought, and it is typically taken off the table if the accused pleads guilty soon thereafter, saving the court time. So for those of you who don't know, Jamaica has the death penalty still. A lot of people are saying Jamaica needs to get back the death penalty, especially in cases like these. I agree. In a them kind of case, yeah, I agree. You have to explain to me how your fluids reach inside of this like a 9-year-old girl. There's no explanation other than you did what you did, right? I agree. In cases like these, we should definitely use the death penalty. So, for your information, the death penalty is very much in Jamaica, still on the books. It is just not used. Now, if ever there's a case where they bring it up and they say, "Yeah, I'm guilty and we're seeking the death penalty," if he confesses to the crime early after doing it, they automatically take the death penalty off the table. Gotta love America. Because you can confess all you want. In crimes like these, you confessing from death row if your state has the death penalty. Karen Notice says you never get over being raped. You have to get enough therapy to remain sane. Yeah. There's a lot of people who've been through it. And that's why their life is so disruptive. And they hold it a secret too because the shame and the stigma that comes with it. No matter how many people tell them you were a victim, it wasn't you, your fault, blah, blah, blah. They still hold that like it happened to me kind of thing, right? However, the thought that Green will escape death has not gone down well with Edwards, the mother of the 9-year-old, who sought out the Jamaica Observer following the court. She said she had steadily called for this man to be put to death. She sees this as only fair. This is the only fair justice that she would get. I'm pleading with Mr. Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister and National Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang, to amend something and change the law so the death penalty can stay in place. Too much of this is going on in the country. An example needs to be made. Our young girls, our young children, they're dying every day. Rape, violence. It needs to stop. You can't keep catching these people and then breaking deals with them to where they get a few years behind bars and are eligible for parole after a couple of years. For now, the next step is for Green to undergo a comprehensive psychiatric exam as requested by his attorney, Albert Morgan, because them can't understand how you went from being the man, the woman's lover, her boyfriend, man friend, romantic partner, to just draw away her daughter, rape her, and strangle her to death just so. A social inquiry and antecedent report are also to be done. All of these things are needed before a judge can decide what sentence is given, because the judge want to hear from a specialist. Him crazy or him not crazy? Even though he has pled guilty, it does not mean that these are not needed, says Justice Day. These things are required, and when they are available, the courts will have the opportunity to go through all of these reports before deciding on what sentence to give. Green is booked to return to court on the last day of this month here for a sentencing hearing. So the last day of July 2023, he will be in court again for a sentencing hearing. He is remanded in custody until that time, and particularly, he is remanded so that a psychiatric evaluation can be done. A licensed psychiatrist will evaluate him. I think that is done at the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center. When that is finished, the psychiatrist will send the report, and we expect to have all of that for sentencing on the 31st, stated Justice Dye. Nikita, the 9-year-old girl, who family members fondly called Joanna, she was a student of Esher Primary School at the time of her death. She was killed on the afternoon of February 1st, 2023. Earlier that morning, Green and Edwards had allegedly engaged in a domestic dispute. So, you and your woman did a fight the morning, and you decide, say, now is the perfect time to do what you always wanted to do. Yeah. Because here what? If a man is dating a woman and those aren't his kids, but he's in love with her truly, and they get into a fight, that's no excuse for you to go rape and kill her little child. Right? Right. That's something that you wanted to do already, and you just decided to do it that day. Police reports are that Nikita traveled from school with her usual taxi driver who always drop her off before she and other passengers exited the cab at the usual stop at the foot of a dirt road that leads up a hill to where her family lives. This is where her cab driver always drop her. The child's mother raised an alarm after she did not return home from school and could not be found. And I think I remember they contacted the driver. See, Nikita, you never pick her up today, you never drop her off. Him say, yes, man. Me drop her off. Right to spot, me drop her off every day. And the alarm went off. The mother raised an alarm after she did not return and could not be found. Community members and the police launched a search, and her body was found in bushes a few feet away from the entrance to her house. The family's dog was also found with both its rear legs bound together by a shirt. You hear me say? Look which part the man commit this act, people. A few feet from the entrance of her house. All the dog get tied up. You see, where you know when time your dog close to you and your dog close to the kids, them. I don't know if you ever owned dogs before. I had dogs my whole life. One thing I know you couldn't do is you couldn't jump on any of my kids when my dogs were around. And before I had kids, when I was growing up in Jamaica and we had dogs, you couldn't do anything to any of us. Our dogs would jump on you. And my dog, them never used to attack people. They used to run and bark along the property line of our house when people are passed on the road beside the house, but they wouldn't rush through it because it wasn't no wall or fencing there. It was natural fencing with shrubs, flowers, shoe block, we used to call it, which is hibiscus plants were used. And it was thick. So the dogs would bark from the inside and follow them down, down, down as they passed the property, barking, barking. But the dog would never burst through it and attack anybody. But if you ever stepped into that yard and tried to attack any of us, them dogs would be all over you. That man here was trying to attack the little girl and the dog was attacking him. Him hold the dog and tie up the dog, two back foot, and carried out that heinous act that he carried out. That quick, raped and strangled. That quick. You know, when I think deeply into these things. This has to be something you have wanted to do. You see, the way how the male body operates, you have to be turned on in order to perform. That's why I think me and wife had a conversation here before. Me tell her, say, you know, she was like, babe, can a man be raped? And I say, like, how? Like, if you have to penetrate him from around, that's a like prison rape style, yeah. She was like, no, like rape from. I said, no, essentially not really, because your mind has to be there. Every grown man know this. You go around woman already or one girl already where something about her smell or she nasty and you just see it or the vibes or something was off and you're something that says, take me out of this friend, come. We're not going in there. The level of excitement that this man get from doing this, he was able to perform it there. That quick. With dog a bite and a bark and all that few feet from the entrance of her house. Thinking any family member could have popped up in the process. And he was still able to execute this that quick. So her mom there looking for her, call our taxi driver. Me just drop her off. Yes, man, me sure. She in the bush, right there. So you tell me now, said people like that don't deserve the death penalty. I don't think there should be a deal. I don't think there should be a deal made in the law for this kind of person. But you know what? I'm gonna say this to Nikita's mom. I'm not gonna put no salt in your wound, right? Cause we live and we learn. And sometimes life lessons are hard. I want the other women who are watching this and who are probably single mother, dating with children. I want you to pay attention to stuff like this. And I don't want you to look on this and talk about, yeah, that can't happen to me because I'm very vigilant and all this. And then you bring a man to go and you pick them. Because it can happen to you. She never saw this coming. She didn't have the slightest of a clue. Right? And to her, the mom, I'm going to say, he's not getting the death penalty, mommy. But justice will be served. Trust me. Justice will be served. Again, everybody think them can do the long time, right? 2 decades more than 2 decades and a half in a Jamaican prison. I don't know if Jamaica prison still like the US prison when it comes to these types of crimes. I don't know if y'all saw the news report recently that coach that ended up molesting all those children and went to prison. He's in Florida. Them just stabbed him up multiple times in prison. He didn't die, but this is his reality, and this is what he'll have to live with for his life sentence. So man now gonna stab them up. Man now gonna stop chop him up when them catch him. Man now gonna stop rip them off in there when them catch them. Right? So his hell is just beginning. And through that, justice will be served. Yeah. We don't have to spell it out and we don't have to say, I hope somebody rip him in there. I hope somebody do this in there. Don't worry. All that is going to be right in place. He will suffer so much that he will wish he was dead. So sometimes when you see them go to prison and them not get the death penalty, me nobody say nothing. Because you see, when it's crimes like these, I know what's coming next. I know what's coming next. It's a code in all prisons across the globe. Not just in the US, it's a code in all prisons across the globe. Man laugh with you, make you think everything nice. You know, they have like what's it called again? Paper parties. Paper parties where once you get put in on a cell block, everybody have to know where you're in here for. Cause them want to know if you're a snitch. Them want to know if you snitch out one of my brethren, them and make him get a life sentence round there. So they want to know if you're a pedo and frigging with babies is your thing. They want to know what you're here for. And once them go through your thing and find out what you did it for, you're a marked man. Everybody is preying on you and plotting on you now. And you can't escape these walls. You're here, right in there, so you're going to have to just deal with it. So, yeah. Time, Veronica Gale. Time. Main one says, real talks. I have been, and it's not a nice place. Yeah. So, the suffering that he caused your beautiful daughter was quick and short, and she exited this life. His suffering will be slow and long. He'll be wishing he could exit this life. And you know what the nice part is? Every time them say, I can't take this no more, I'll kill myself, you're surrounded by too many people. As soon as him start try it, yo, the man over here start try to kill himself, they'll keep you alive long enough to torture your ass some more. Day in and day out. Yeah. And again, is why I say the sex registry in Jamaica needs to be public. Because all people like them would do stuff like this and get short time of prison, then come live right next door to people. And you don't know. And you have no way of telling that that's the kind of person that's living right next to you. There you have it. You know, I was going to do another segment to this morning, but I'm not. I'm going to leave it right here because I can't even find myself being funny after this. The next segment was going to be growing up in Jamaica or growing up Caribbean. And we were going to reminisce about fond memories and moments and stuff. We will start there tomorrow morning. So bring all your fun memories and your fond moments and meet we're right here. So tomorrow morning, which will be Friday, and we'll go over that and we have a festive Friday morning. I know this make your spirit feel kind of low. It make me feel kind of low and it make me feel angry. So I'm going to go purge this kind of energy from off of me, out my body. And I send my condolences to the mother of Nikita and her surviving family members. And to anybody out there who's been through stuff like this and this triggered you, my apologies. I wasn't meant to trigger you. I wasn't trying to trigger you. I was trying to make sure that Nikita life was not in vain. At least learn a lesson from what she went through. Please remember, if you're a parent, just remember this little girl and what she went through. When you see that man there where you so in love with now and want to take him into your house, just remember Nikita. Okay? All right. We're going to left it right Tessa this morning. Manners and respect to each and every one of you tuning in. I thank you. I appreciate you greatly. Big up my family, my SouFLoTV family. One love. Walk good, people. And karma is real. I'll see you tomorrow right here for God spare my life. All right? I'm out. Peace.